Hello investors, welcome to Simpli Stocks. Today we are going to study a business that may be known to very few investors only, yet it is present in several high growth sunrise sectors like EVs, smart meters, renewable energy and data centers. Stock's name is Shivalik Bimetal Controls. This company manufactures some critical parts and components used in these sectors. And right now, several interesting triggers are playing out here, which is why we are studying this business today. So without any delay, let's quickly get started. Now to explain it in very simple language, Shivalik Bimetal Controls or SBC is basically a specialty components manufacturer. It makes high precision components for electrical and industrial products which are used for various applications like let us say measuring current or braking circuit or say turning things on and off in an automatic way. So that is what they do and they manufacture these critical products. Now the company manufactures these products using manufacturing technologies such as electronic beam welding, EBW, and high pressure diffusion bonding. In these products, accuracy, precision, and quality matter a lot because these products are used for critical applications, and these very capabilities make SBC a moated business. And if we specifically look at their products, so they manufacture shunt resistors, thermostatic bimetals, electrical contacts, also bus bars and PCBA assemblies. Currently, shunt resistors and bimetals are the largest segments for them, and we will be discussing all these products in detail moving forward. And their business is also quite diversified, like they export their products to more than 30 countries, and that is what they do. Now, see, Shivalik supplies its products to ancillary companies, as in they do not supply products directly to any OEM like Tesla or Mercedes. SBC basically falls into tier 2, tier 3 supplier category, where it supplies precision parts to the auto ancillary businesses which are above them. Then those businesses use those components to manufacture products for other ancillaries or sometimes directly for the OEM. That being said, for some time now, they have been working closely with partner OEMs and also tier 1 suppliers. In this arrangement, the product is jointly developed according to the customer's requirements. And this brings in firstly good business and also margins are better here. And they are also quite well diversified application wise and sector wise also. SBC is no longer dependent on just one industry or customer like before. So along with EVs, it also supplies its products for many other end segments like smart meters, industrial automation, consumer electronics, and so on. Until 2 years ago, this business used to be a bit concentrated, but since then they have diversified significantly. Now here, let us understand their business and product segments well, because understanding this is very important and necessary. Otherwise, SBC will look like, let's say, just an ordinary component manufacturer to you. So as I was telling you, this business is diversified into 3-4 different product segments. First, let us start with shunt resistors, which accounts for nearly 40% of their business. The main job of a shunt resistor is to measure current in an appliance. For instance, in any EV, battery pack or smart meter, it is important to know how much current is going in and how much is coming out, right? So that is important. And shunt resistors are used to accurately measure this very current. And within this application, they can come into use across many other use cases like knowing charging and discharging levels, adjusting motor speed, and so on. And you can understand its importance like this. If the current measurement goes wrong, it can lead to several risks like overcharging, safety issues, or let us say overloading. So although it is a very small component for sure, but it is a vital one. And today the demand for these products is growing fast across EVs, battery energy storage systems, battery management systems, smart meters, data center power systems, and so on. Because as the complexity of the products is increasing, these shunt resistors or bimetals, they are being used in even greater quantities than earlier. So that is there. That is what is happening. Then the second main product segment is of thermostatic bimetals. And if I just explain to you in very simple language, so thermostatic bimetals are made by joining two different metals together. And as the both metals heat and expand at different rate when they are heated by current, so when one metal gets too hot, it bends and breaks the electrical circuit. And due to this nature, they are basically used to control temperature and current flow. For example, in your home's iron, geyser, AC, refrigerator, and other appliances, and also in EVs and all industrial machines, these kinds of bimetal strips are used to automatically control temperature or prevent overheating. So this segment also has roughly 40% contribution to their sales. Now, apart from this, they are also in electrical contacts, like whenever any switch or circuit is turned on and off, these electrical contacts are used. These are installed in switchgear, industrial panels, transmission equipment, consumer appliances, and so on. And this accounts for about 19 to 20% of their business. So that is there. Now, additionally, for the past few years, Shivalik has been working on few new products as well. Among these, they have developed bus bars and also PCBA assemblies. The job of bus bars is basically to safely and efficiently transfer or distribute current in EV battery packs and also power distribution systems. Bus bars also make use of shunt resistors, and shunt resistors are basically used as components to make bus bars. And on the other hand, PCBA, which are basically printed circuit board assemblies, the green chips you might have seen in electronic devices. So those are the main control unit. So this Shivalik Bimetals, they have also been expanding into these two new product categories. With the rising demand of EVs, smart meters, industrial electronics and all, the demand for these products is also growing rapidly. So they have many different product segments, and within them, there are many different growth triggers which are playing out for Shivalik. But what makes Shivalik actually special or different is that it is a highly moated business. Like, they have multiple competitive advantages and skill sets around expertise. For instance, developing this EBW, electronic beam welding and diffusion bonding technologies, it is not easy. It takes a lot of time to build expertise in these technologies, and a lot of attention to details and precision is also required in this business. And that is why SBC is classified as a precision manufacturer. Like, to give you a perspective, the tolerance limit for precision, it is as thin as a human hair, or let's say even lesser. Otherwise, your product gets rejected, because these products try to understand, have applications from safety standards or critical usage perspective. So there can be no compromise. Then there are also these products are also customized for a client. For example, let us say SBC will supply a different design of product to Bosch and a different design one to ABB. And clients usually take as long as 18 to 24 months just to approve a new supplier, which is why these clients or customers do not change their suppliers like SBC that frequently. Like, firstly, the customer will finalize the design together with SBC, then they will test it for 2 to 3 years once the design is finalized. So you see, like, don't you see how high the stickiness is for the customer or client here? Like, the customer will stay for at least 10 to 15 years with SBC because they have put in so much time to develop the product jointly with them. And that is why the margins are also quite high here. And actually, there are very few companies, not just in India, but actually in the world as well, that can make such products. For example, SBC holds about 80 to 90% share in the domestic bimetals, trimetals market. And it also controls about 10 to 12% market of the shunt resistors. Similarly, SBC, they also have their own research expertise, and they have a low-cost manufacturing setup. Because of that also, their margins are better than the industry average. So all of this makes Shivalik a very interesting precision manufacturer, and that is why we are studying this business today. Now, a humble request just before moving forward: if you are liking this video so far, do give me a thumbs up. Also, you can subscribe to our channel Simpli Talks, where we bring multiple such videos every week. Honestly, your likes and subscribes are our only motivation, so that we keep bringing such high quality research to you for free. So do like this video, and yes, also subscribe to our channel. Anyways, coming back to our discussion, let us talk about their manufacturing capabilities. So Shivalik has 3 manufacturing plants in Solan of Himachal Pradesh. Among these, the shunt resistors plant has a peak revenue capacity of 700 crore rupees. The capacity of thermostatic bimetal unit has also reached 600 crore. Similarly, their third plant, where they make electrical contacts, can also bring in 300 crore of business. So the company's sales last year were around 600 crore rupees. And right now they have a capacity, like they have sufficient capacity to clock 1300 to 1800 crore in sales from here. So Shivalik can easily, let us say, double or triple its sales from here without a requirement of any additional heavy investment or additional capex. So that is one strong point here. Apart from this, the company is also developing a new R&D and CCS center in Pune, where they will focus on new products like bus bars and PCBA assemblies. So this expansion will also help the company by bringing, they can bring high margin value added products via this Pune center. And this is what I was essentially telling you, that bus bar is a complete, let's say, kind of component or small component or product in itself, which makes use of different shunt resistors. So earlier they were supplying only the strip part, the shunt resistor, but now there is the whole product, which will help to bring them high margin value added products. And with this new plant, they will be able to fulfill orders that were getting previously delayed due to lack of capacity. Apart from this, some of their old customers are also giving them work for new products. Because of all this, we should see growth getting better this year in FY27 and also next year also. And because these products have already been finalized from the customer end, and the business they are finalized from the customer end, so the business and revenue will start flowing within a short span of time as soon as commercial production begins. So that is there. Now moving forward, let us quickly look at their results. So we will focus mainly on 3 months of performance from January to March, or basically the Q4 performance, because earlier this business was facing many challenges and difficulties ranging from tariffs to a demand slowdown. And we will talk more about that ahead. But yes, Q4 has been a breakout quarter for them. This is when the growth has returned to the company again, and new products have been added. And because of this very reason, we are studying this business today, that growth is returning, new products are getting added. So that is there. Now here in you will see in the table that SBC achieved sales of 163 crore rupees, which is a growth of 23% compared to the last year. Similarly, EBITDA also increased by 24.5% with a margin of 22%. Along with this, net profit also increased by 24% from last year to 26 crore rupees. The net profit margin stood at 16%. Right here, you can also see the numbers for full year FY26. Sales grew by 12%. The EBITDA margin for the full year stood at 23%, and the company is moving towards high margin value added products. That is why you will see why margins have expanded. A growth of 26% in EBITDA and 25% in net profit was seen, despite, let's say, tepid growth in sales growth, right? The sales growth was just 12%. And this margin expansion is a very interesting trigger, because if you look volume wise in Q4, the volumes for both shunt resistors and bimetals were about 14% lower compared to the last year. But despite this, there was no drop in sales. On the contrary, sales of shunts increased by about 7%, and the bimetal segment also remained stable. Similarly, for the full year as well, volumes remained flat, but the sales of both the products increased. And as I was telling you, the reason is the same. SBC is gradually focusing on high margin value added engineered components and assemblies instead of just selling ordinary strips. And because of this, they are able to charge a higher price for each product or assembly that they are selling, and they are getting better realization. And since we are talking about numbers, let us also look at their export and the domestic share of business here. So last year, 57% of their sales came from exports, and the remaining 43% came from India. Now, SBC exports its products to more than 38 countries like America, Europe, Japan, South Korea, and Brazil. Now, so far we have understood quite well what Shivalik does, what its moats and strengths are, and we also saw that until now their performance was not that much special, but yes, Q4 has turned out quite well for them. Now we will see from here what the management's guidance and growth outlook is regarding the future. So they have several growth triggers for the next few years. First of all their end segments like EVs, smart meters, data centers, all are seeing good demand right now. And even within those, the value-added products and use cases are increasing. For example, an EV requires about 3 times more components compared to an ordinary internal combustion regular ICE vehicle, right? Then their smart meter business is also doing quite well. About 1 year ago, sales from this division used to be at 30 to 40 crore rupees, which has increased to 75 to 80 crore rupees in just one single year. The management is giving guidance for similar strong growth this year as well. Like they are planning to double their sales for smart meter division. So that will be a growth trigger. And they are confident that smart meters will continue to drive growth for them for the next minimum 6 to 8 quarters. Similarly, what I was repeatedly telling you, that the contribution of value-added parts is also increasing, because in shunt resistors, realizations continue to increase by about 10 to 12%, because for the new component-based products, the value addition is almost double compared to the previous ordinary strip business, which your bus bars will bring. So that will support margins and profitability. And then these bus bars and CCS assemblies will also become companies' next big growth engines. So SBC has started these products for two-wheeler EVs for now, but going forward, they will be used in hybrid and passenger vehicles. And this new business alone has the capacity to contribute 250 to 350 crore in annual sales over the next 2 to 3 years. Like this segment alone can bring about 50% growth. Plus, this new line will help SBC with diversification also. Like until 2 to 3 years ago, they were heavily dependent on the EV sector, and even within EV on just a handful of clients. This also brought challenges for them, and it became actually problematic for them. Like I'll tell you, after COVID, what happened was growth was definitely strong. Their clients in US did excessive inventory stocking because there was so much demand. But then slowdown in demand occurred post COVID period, let us say boom period of 2 to 3 years. Clients had a lot of inventory lying around, so they were using that up, and SBC did not get that many new orders. And then what happened was US also imposed tariffs. So due to many difficulties back to back last 2 to 3 years, they have not gone that well for Shivalik, and their US business was under a bit of pressure. And besides that, a major customer of the company, Vishay Intertechnology, that had also slowed down significantly. There were many reasons behind this related to the market and demand, which I already told you. Then they also changed the design of their products, due to which some of the business went to the competitors. But now what has happened is SBC has also developed those new components according to the needs or let us say new designs of Vishay. And the management says that because of this, business with Vishay should gradually increase again, and it should get back to the peak level. Like Vishay alone used to bring about 38 to 39% of the business for them, which has now dropped to around 13 to 14%. But the management has assured that they will no longer remain concentrated on any specific client or sector. So even after recovery, basically they have learned from their mistakes. So even after recovery, its contribution will actually remain around 16 to 18%, because so many other products or clients or let us say end segments they have opened for Shivalik. Apart from this, now the new component based products which I was telling you, they have also come, and their customers have also started working on a few new programs and products. So that should also flow to Shivalik. So from here, we can expect a recovery in US business as well, and sales should gradually reach close to the old peak levels which used to be there. But interesting point is that recovery will not be like earlier, it will be even better. If I tell you, so previously the company supplied only strip products, whereas now they are supplying more value-added engineered components to the same customers. So in this regard, the value addition in these products is almost double compared to the before, which I was telling you. Therefore, even if volumes fail to reach the old peak levels, the profitability and bottom line contribution will still be better than earlier and better than before. So that is something to watch out for. Along with this, they are now keeping their customer base also more diversified, so that they have learned from their mistakes, which is a positive development for long term. So Shivalik Bimetals, I'll say, is at an interesting turning point here. From here, we should firstly see an increasing contribution from value-added products. Shunt resistors are getting translated into bus bars, so that is happening. Similarly, revenue from new business lines will also contribute to the growth. Plus, the management is quite bullish on the smart meter segment for the next 1.5 to 2 years. And then the US revenue can also go back to its previous peak levels. So that is also a trigger. So we can say many triggers actually will be playing out here over the next 1 to 2 years. Therefore, you should study and track this business yourself once. Lastly, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, and also please subscribe to our channel, Simply Stocks. Finding such businesses and doing research on them takes a lot of hard work and time. So if you support us with your likes and subscribes, we will be able to bring more such videos for you every week. With this, I'll see you in the next video. Happy investing.